Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we are live. We have around 70 people with us. Uh, as you must have seen in the poster in the campaign which we have launched, that today we will be having this session. And we have with us Captain Hooda, who's from Maersk, who's a sailing captain. And we also have Captain Vinod Naveen from IMU, who is giving us time on his holiday. So thank you so much, both of you, for joining in. Uh, before we start the session, we just want to tell all of you that whatever questions are coming in your mind or things like that, you can write it in the chat. We will be following and taking up the chat at the end of the session. But initially, we would just want to focus on people who are actually appearing or who are going to go for Merchant Navy this time. So just to give a very brief introduction to all of you, because there are people from all over, we don't know who is actually our viewer, but we hope it is mostly people who are going to appear for Merchant Navy this time, and we hope you have applied for Imu Ct, which is the most important requirement if you are going. So it will be a very useful session for those who have applied already for Imu Ct and are looking to pursue Merchant Navy this year. The rest of you, you have missed your chance this time, but you can still watch the session and take whatever from you can take from it. So just to give, because now you guys are going for the CET exam soon. A lot of questions come to us in terms of what are the courses, what are the colleges, what is sponsorship. So we will be talking about all these things. Yeah. And what kind of job you will have. So just to give you a very layman definition of Merchant Navy, is basically an industry which transports cargo all across the world. And cargo can be anything. It can be fast moving consumer goods, it can be TV, it can be iPhone, it can be oil, it can be chemical, it can be shoes, it can be anything. So anything which you imagine, which is produced in one country and is sold to other country, 95% of this trade happens by ship. So we are in a very essential industry, and that is what you are going to become if you end up having a career in this industry. So this is a basic brief which we will be talking into, and we would start the session basically now with Captain Naveen. If you can just give us a brief introduction, because everybody talks about IMU, as IMU Ct is the most important thing in this whole initiation process of Merchant Navy in India. So just a brief on what IMU offers, as in terms of an organization, a campus, a small intro into IMU, and then we can kickstart this session.
Yes, Avinash, thank you. I would just, before coming to IMU, I would just congratulate all of them who have joined us and probably will be choosing this Merchant Navy career. And you already mentioned about what is Merchant Navy, but let me just add on. I would say, from my experience, it's a very unique career. Why would I say it is unique career? A couple of reasons. Because one, your office is a floating office. Okay, it's something different that what other people, where your friends will be going to work. You'll be working in a floating office, and I would say you're going to work on one of the largest floating offices in the world. Captain Hooda would be able to tell you that the ships today are of the size of a football ground, right? So that's the kind of office that we'll be working in. And we go to Google location. If you look for location, I would say in Merchant Navy it keeps changing. There's no fixed location for you. Your office will keep changing. Your office, I would say, location of your office will be worldwide, right? You'll be working with different nationalities. It's a very, I would say, it's a multinational career. It's an international career. and you have a well-defined career path. You can see Avinash and Captain Hooda in their stripes on their shoulders. So it's a very well-defined career path that you have, and it's so nice to go up that ranks. And of course, you will be having a license which is issued by a government of a particular country, whichever you choose to. In our case, India, right? So these are some of the benefits which I don't see in most of the other careers, and that's the reason I said it's a very unique career. Coming to the CET and IMU, which is Indian Maritime University. Um, Indian Maritime University is a government establishment under the central government of India, and we have been given the responsibility to look after the maritime courses, especially the pre-sea courses. So, as per the Directorate General of Shipping, which is actually regulating shipping in India, there is a requirement that there should be an entrance test which anybody who wishes to join merchant navy through any of the pre-sea courses, right? I use the word pre-sea because that's a course that you'll be doing to join the merchant navy, and of course you will be doing many courses as you go up your career, which is called as post-sea course, right? Which will give you licenses and different positions on board ships. So if you have to join merchant navy, the first thing is that you should write an entrance test. And now this entrance test is conducted by Indian Maritime University, Pan India, and as of now, this common entrance test will be conducted on 11th of June. It was initially supposed to be conducted today actually, and it has been postponed to 11th of June. So all those who have registered for CET, you can appear for the common entrance test, which are conducted in about 80 plus centers across our country. There might be a center you might have chosen very close to your hometown. So once you write the entrance test, which is a mandatory for you to take admission either into the Indian Maritime University's campuses or any private maritime training institutes in India which are affiliated to IMU. So we have about 18 to 20 affiliated institutes which conduct pre-sea courses. So if you want to get admission, it is mandatory that you get a rank in the common entrance test of IMU, right? So can I just leave it at that, and then I'll probably give more details later on, Avinash?
Yes. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was very well answered, because obviously the first thing is you give an entrance, and the entrance is Imu Ct, which hopefully the audience here would have applied for, and then your options begin. Then you come to the courses and choosing the college and course, and uh, so I would get Captain Hooda in here, because now the next thing is candidate has decided that he wants to pursue merchant navy. Now the important question here is which way you are going. Now all three of us are deck here, so it is. But still, I mean, what factors you should take in deciding like what side you want to choose, whether you want to be on deck or you want to be an engine. What is the initial thought process which you should have?
I
Yeah.
thank you, Avinash, and thank you, Captain Vinod, for the brief intro. And good day to everyone, and welcome. I'm really excited to connect with the young talent here. This seems to be a very good platform where different expertise are here. Captain Vinod can give insight of how the first step should be taken, and how a guy or anyone interested in this career and going ahead with that. And as I'm sailing captain with Maersk, I'm at sea. And I can give you a very good insight of what actually the life at sea is from my point of view, and hopefully that will be helpful to the guys and clear out the confusion if they have any. And coming back to my introduction, I started sailing with Maersk. I'm with Maersk since my cadetship. I started my career in merchant navy with Maersk only, and I can talk about Maersk a lot. and I will definitely give all the plus and minus points what I have seen through my career path. And yes, and I'm also an airline pilot, so I can share some of the insights from the different, perspectives from the different angles. Also, how the others are looking at us and how we ourselves looking at us being a seafarer. And yeah, so any questions or anything which is coming through you guys or 9cc that will be answered from this end.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just wanted to come to this point. Now the question has for these boys is which way to go. Deck, engine, what is easy, what is difficult, what will a little bit on that. I mean, how should you choose?
Yeah, I am a dual, so I can say I can tell you very well how to choose from deck or engine. From my point of view, I wanted to be a captain and I want to lead the team from the front. That was although I was very good with the engine and technical stuff, but that was my priority. So it depends on the personal person to person how they look ahead, how they foresee themselves in the future, what they want to be. They want to be engineer, they are very good with the technical, and they are very good with the engine stuff, and they are too much into the technical stuff. So definitely the good choice will be to go on the engine side. Also, to if somebody is looking forward to see, nowadays people are creating a pathway where they can foresee their future down the line of 10 years, 20 years. So how they see themselves, they want to see themselves as a captain, and what are the opportunities for the captain, how the life of the captain will be, and how they're going to deal with their other things like family issue, family stuffs, and all and the showed opportunities for the captain ashore, and somebody who is very keen in the technical part, where they want to be in the engine side, where they want to play with tools, and they love they have basically you should do what you love to do, you have fun with. So if somebody is very good, really, as I'm saying again and again, if you're really very good to with playing around with the tools and engines and open up and investigate what's going on, how to maintain, you will love it. So then the good part is to choose the engine.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, very nicely explained. I mean, if you are a person who is in love with machines or who like to open things up, who like working all the time physically, then obviously, then your interest will take you there. Uh, Now, a lot of, these young people, they ask that can we become engineer in a year or 2 years, 3 years? That is not possible because any engineering takes time. And perhaps all engineering courses in India, whether it is computers or mechanical or IT or anything, they are 4 years. So if you choose that path, then you will have to spend 4 years of engineering. There is no shortcut to being an engineer. But now coming on to the tech side, yeah, because you also said the goal was always to to lead the team, to be the captain. So on the deck side, we have. I'll take this to Captain Naveen. I mean, like what I went through, IMU offers basically in pre-C they offer BSc Nautical Science, Btec, BE Marine Engineering, and Diploma in Nautical Science, which is a one-year diploma. What from our feedback, and we can see in the comments also, 90% of it goes by that they just want to do DNS, 1 year DNS, because perhaps there is a sponsorship dimension attached to it. So that has become very, very popular, and every second person wants to do it. Although there are only limited seats and only so many can get to do that. So, uh, what can you shed a bit light on this, Captain? Note that what IMU offers in terms of deck courses, whether DNS and BSc, and how does it work out in terms of sponsorship and all?
Yeah, so of course, I'll come back. There is the third stream that is attached. So we were talking about deck, then engine, and now there is an electrical stream in terms of electrotechnical officers. But let's talk about deck. In the deck stream, you have two courses to choose from. Either you can choose a 1 year diploma in nautical science course, or you can choose a 3 year BSc nautical science course. At the end of 3 years, you are awarded with a BSc degree. And then in a BSc course, it not only we talk about seafaring, but there are some subjects which even talks about logistics and some allied industries attached with seafaring. So you get a 3 year degree, and that 3 year degree, with that 3 year degree, either you can choose to go on a merchant ship, or you can even opt for a choose to go on in the logistics sectors also. It gives you a base. Whereas if you're just talking about merchant navy, the diploma in nautical science course is a 1 year course, and then you have an 18 months training period. The training continues on board, so there's an 18 months training period, and in during the training period, you can write the exams for the subjects in distance learning. So basically, you will also get a BSc degree after you complete all the semesters at sea. So you have only 2 semesters in a college. The remaining 3 semesters is at sea, and plus your 18 months sea time will also qualify you for a BSc degree at the end of this entire program. So since in a diploma in nautical science you have a training period attached with the course, the 18 months training period. So you need to make sure that you get a sponsorship before you join the DNS course. Now, that is a must, that you should be sponsored by a company before you take up a DNS course, because your training is extended not just in college, but you have to continue your training on board ship of the company which has sponsored you. So when you look at the entire course, it includes the onboard training, and that is why the sponsorship is mandatory. So there are many shipping companies who opt for diploma cadets. They do sponsor them after conducting their own company related screening test, which is ongoing actually. So once you appear for them and you clear their exams, then you will get sponsored by those companies, and then you can join up Indian Maritime University or any of the other private maritime colleges and complete your DNS program. Then you will be sent on board the ship to complete your 18 months sea time, and after which along that sea time, if you write your papers semester 3, 4, and 5, you will also get a degree from after completing the 30 months. Whereas in a 3 year BSc course, you get a degree certificate after your course. So there is no need for any sponsorship. The sponsorship is not required, but you still need to spend 12 months on a ship to complete your qualifying period to write your exams for your first officer's license. Right? If you want to get an officer's license, you need to spend 12 months at sea. But there is no requirement for sponsorship because the training completes in the college. That is why you don't need a sponsorship for BSc Nautical Science. You're trained now, just finish your qualifying time, and then you can appear for your second mate license, as they call it. And that's the difference between a BSc and a DNS course. Just to add on, when it comes to Btec Marine Engineering, it becomes 4 years course, just like any other engineering. But then your training completes there. So you don't have to go for an onboard training. There is no need for sponsorship in BTech Marine Engineering. Just like BSc, your training completes in college, but you need to put in 6 months of qualifying time for your first junior officer's license. So that is why you have to go on board for 6 months. So if you're spending more time in college, the sea service time gets lesser. So if you put all the DNS and BTech and BSc courses together, and you take in the sea time requirement for your qualifying exams for the officer's license, you find that more or less everything is in sync with the period that you spend to get the license.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
correct, sir. So you said IMU also offers something, a few seats for DNS also. So is the sponsorship or anything done separately by the candidates, or does IMU also has a role in providing sponsorships or like bringing these companies or anything together or like that?
Yes, IMU we have six campuses across our country in different cities. You have in Kolkata, Vizag, Chennai, Cochin, and two campuses in Mumbai. They offer this range of courses which I spoke about. And then in that, we do have the DNS course for deck side conducted in Chennai and Mumbai. So these are the two campuses which conduct this course. Um, when it comes to sponsorship, as I mentioned, the candidates have to appear for most of the candidates have to appear for a screening test of those companies, to get themselves sponsored. Once they clear those tests, then they will get sponsored. IMU
Yeah.
has a list of companies which they put out to say that these are the companies which we support them in helping them in identifying the companies which offer those screening tests. But as such,
Hmm.
we provide an assistance, but we don't provide any guarantee for sponsorship at IMU. That's the
Okay. Okay.
responsibility of the candidates.
Okay. And you only get admission in DNS when you have the sponsorship, whether you have secured it on your own or by any means. Yeah.
Yes, that's a mandatory compliance that you should have a sponsorship. As I mentioned, the reason is your training.
Mm.
Otherwise, you will finish your 12 months in the college, and then you can't complete the remaining 18 months of onboard training, which is part of the DNS course. So it is mandatory that you are sponsored before you take up this course.
Mhm. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for answering it so elaborately. I'll come to Captain Hooda, who's been waiting patiently because now it is about sponsorship, and we have Maersk. You are perhaps representing Maersk. So, if you can like shed a little bit light on how Maersk is in now on the scheme of things in terms of companies which are there best to work for or best to sell, or and then obviously getting sponsorship in that company, because the discussion which I see also here in the chat and all is there are n number of companies which are there, and for a layman who is just starting out, they cannot recognize what is number one, two, three, based on also which courses they are offering. Because Maersk is offering sponsorship for BSc Nautical Science and Btec candidates, as opposed to Diploma in Nautical Science, which is a 1 year course, and a lot of students they get diverted to because it's a short-term course. I want to go here, I want to join this company, that company. So how does Maersk, you know, comes up and trumps all these companies, and can you shed a bit of light on that?
Yes, Avinash. Maersk is, from very long time, Maersk is dedicated to take good talents from India, and they have been trying this continuously. And their main source comes from like big institutes like AMET University, and of course IMU, and other good renowned institutes which Captain Vinod was highlighting to. So they go and then they conduct the interviews, and depending on the performance and everything, they select from there. Other companies, I cannot comment on it very frankly. The best way to know about the companies, like I'm working with the Maersk, so I can give an insight of the Maersk, how it is, and but for the other companies. Have to come in contact with somebody who's actually selling with that company, instead of listening to a third party who has no idea what's in and out of that company. So that will be the best. So same coming to the Maersk, since my cadetship, which we started from Amit, I've been seeing and I've been listening it from my mentors and the seniors that Maersk is number one since very long, and they are maintaining this position with regards to the fair employment, and everyone has the voice in Maersk, and everyone. Maersk is very much dedicated to diversity and inclusion. That everyone have the opportunity, and actually, what if you look at the seafarer side, what is the most difficult part and most challenging part is being away from the home and being isolated. At Maersk, what we feel is that we feel at home. In the simple terms, I can say that we feel it when we are on board. We feel it that we are at home. So that I think answers most of the questions. So, from as you said that which company is the best for me, Musk is the best. That's why I'm here since my cadetship, and I'm looking forward to continue with Musk as long as I will reach to my retirement age. And I enjoy here, and I can see my juniors and my cadets and my officers and my team. They enjoy a lot here, and yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree on the part that since you have always been on Mars, obviously you can speak about Mars, but you can't really, like, same goes for other companies. I mean, people who have sailed in those companies, they only know about their companies. Uh, and in YouTube, whether you have failed or not, you still have to voice to comment on any company. So that is what you get to hear from people. But one thing which was I was keen on asking was, like you said, like it's how you are treated, or that is the difference, or how you feel at that place. Because a lot of comments, a lot of young students, they say that the salary is this much here also, or the salary is that much here also. So when they compare those things, for them it looks like everything is at par or is at equal. So where does this difference of how you are made to feel and how you are looked after well, and that you belong to this number one, it comes from? How does it? How is that process?
Definitely, a salary becomes an important part of this career. That's why, one of the factors why people join merchant navy. Very frankly, I joined merchant navy because of money, because it was offering handsome salary, handsome money, definitely. So at this point, what I will suggest the young talent is that instead of looking into the salaries up and down for $50, $100, $200, that actually on the long term does not matter at all. What matters is your living condition, your safety, because you are going away from home. You have to look after yourself also. What environment you will be working in, that is really important, because you will be staying away from home for 6 to 9 months minimum. you know Take it minimum six months at least. So you need to see which environment you will be where you should be comfortable, you should feel safe, you should feel at home, when you're working. If some company is offering you $100, $200 extra, but your living condition will be pathetic, and you will be going through harassment, or you will be going through discrimination, so many other things which will impact your mental well-being and your physical well-being, then that $100, will it matter? It will not matter. For the timing, it will look like that, oh, there is a difference of 100, 200, or 500 and all. But my suggestion, my advice will be to please look into, take all the factors into account before deciding. Definitely, if there is a big difference of like 500 and $1,000 and all, but yet all factors have been accounted for, then definitely there is a choose, which way to go and which way not to go. But on the long term, when you have decided to stick with this career, and you will walk on this career path, then please take into account all the factors which are very important for your own well-being. And like as I said, in Maersk, we are paid well. Definitely, we are paid well as per our peers in the market. And if some other company is coming up and telling me that they are willing to pay me $200 per month extra, but I really doubt that I will switch, because I'm satisfied here. As I said, that my all factors are being satisfied here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, yeah, greatly, very rightly explained, I believe. I think ultimately it is your happiness that matters, and all that factors, if they that should help you in deciding that yes, this is the best thing for me, and I should go ahead. Coming to Captain, we are getting a lot of comments, so we'll just take them quickly one by one. Before that, there is one question related to IMU. A lot of students in the chat, they are comparing IMU as a college opposed to a lot of private. There's no harm in taking names, Solani or MAT and all these colleges. So good or bad, they are saying in very very basic general terms. But if you can like shed a bit more on how has been IMU performing in terms of whatever ever since it has been there. And I believe a lot of good companies are coming there also for recruiting, etc. So if you can just explain a bit on that.
Yes. As Captain Hooda was commenting on, or rather not commenting on different companies, it same applies for me, right? Which is a good institute and which is a bad institute. I think for me, everything is good as long as because institutes, maritime institutes in India are regulated by the Directorate General of Shipping. So there are some guidelines, and as long as the institutes are approved by the DG Shipping, they're all coming under the category of good institutes because they would have complied with the minimum conditions that needed to set up an institute. Of course, everything is minimum, right? So there are institutes which have just stepped on to the minimum and build up infrastructure over and above that. So that is where probably the young cadets or the students are who are looking at those institutes and saying they are good and they are bad. But let me again clarify that they all comply with the minimum criteria. And then with the infrastructure, so it depends on what you're looking at. I mean, some of the students I found they're looking at more of what kind of infrastructure they are offered in the campus in terms of extracurricular activities. You know, some of the students are looking at, do you have a good football ground, basketball court, what are the welfare facilities? So it depends on what you're looking at. Some of them are looking at from an academic point of view that, okay, what is your rating in terms of academics? Who's teaching in your college? So can I add value by joining that particular college? Some of them are looking at purely at what kind of are they getting a job after completing their courses. So it depends upon what the student is looking at. There is no one standard formula to say which institute is doing better than the other. Of course, these are the ways in which you would measure the kind of institutes, and one of the measurements is that am I getting a job after doing my course? So again, I come back to IMU, the six campuses that we have. We do have very regular placement that keeps happening in all the six campuses. There are standard companies which come to IMU campuses. They have been coming for last so many years, and they have been recruiting students who are completing their various courses at IMU. Okay, so the recruitment process is a continuous process. In fact, I just had two recruitments in the Kochi campus yesterday, right, for the for the cadets who are completing the course. They are not yet completed, but the two recruitments happened yesterday. That was the third one which happened for them, and if they get through that, it's kind of close to 100% placement for all the boys who studied. So for placements do happen, and I'm sure the placements do happen in other private institutes. Some of them who Avinash mentioned, whether it is Tolani or ARI, the placements do happen over there. And but let me tell you, placements do happen for those who perform. I mean, you can't expect to just come and do your course and get a degree and expect yourself to be placed. So that doesn't happen. So why is it that some of them are not getting placed? I would say you are getting opportunities to get a job, but then probably it is just because that you are not ready at that stage. I wouldn't say you're bad. You're not just ready at that stage. You're not picked up. That doesn't also mean it's not the end of the road. You make yourself ready. You will definitely get a job, right? Shipping, as you know, is you can't take shipping out of it's a backbone of world trade. So ships have to be there. People have to be
Yeah.
there to man the ship. So you can't take them out. There are requirements, but if you don't perform yourself, and then you can't expect yourself to get a job. So otherwise, placements do happen. Placements are regularly happening at all IMU campuses, and I think we have a very good placement outturn at the end of any of the courses that the cadets do.
Okay. Okay. And I'll just add on to it, since it is government also, so it is also slightly subsidized course fees and everything. It is obviously be uh, cheaper than the private institutions. I mean, just yeah. So, sir, a few quick questions. Admit card date people are asking, and a lot of people are asking whether everybody will get a rank or they qualify IMU CT, or whether there is a cutoff or only few number of people qualify.
The CET, as I mentioned, is going to happen on 11th of June in those centers. On 4th of June, I think 1 week before, there will be a mock test that will be conducted for CET. And on the same day, on the 4th of June, is the current plan to issue the admit cards. So you
Okay.
will get your admit cards on the 4th, and you will also get a mock test on the 4th. This is the current plan. See, what
Okay.
happens is everybody who appears for a CET based on the marks that they get a rank. They get a rank. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
There are negative markings because it is an objective type question, about 200 questions. You don't want people to just come and give an answer by chance. So there are
Okay.
negative markings to prevent you from giving answers by chance.
Mhm.
There is, I
Mhm.
think, for every right answer, there's 1 mark, and for every wrong answer, there is zero point 0.2 negative marks. Okay.
Yeah.
So once you appear for your CET based on the marks, you will get a rank, and based on the rank, if you're going to take a admission in IMU campus, and let me correct Avinash, it is not slightly subsidized. The central government has really subsidized the fees at IMU. It is much lower than what they pay at private institutes, right? So it's
Okay.
a good
Yeah.
very that's what the government has done. And so if you are looking at to join any of the IMU campuses, you are given I think 4 or 5 options to choose from, which course
Okay.
and which campus that you want to do.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
based on the rank you get, the higher rank you get to get your preferred course and preferred campus, right? If you get
Mhm.
in a very high rank, if your rank is very low, then you might lose
Mhm.
out, because the seats will get filled up by those students who got a better rank in the IMU CET. This is for IMU campuses.
Correct.
Whereas for private institutes, you just need to appear and get a rank certificate.
Yeah.
And they have a separate admission criteria and
Correct.
procedure. So
Correct. Correct. Correct.
your rank doesn't matter for private institute, but your appearing for CET and getting a rank certificate is a must if you're moving to a private institute.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Correct. Thank you so much, sir. So yeah. Next question was DNS applications are closed. See, we talked about DNS. The thing I guess somebody wants to ask whether about sponsorship. A lot of sponsorship exams were going from March onwards, and a lot of them are over. Maybe you might have a few companies which will come in June. So for that, obviously, you can subscribe to the channel. We'll keep updating on that, so you'll get all the updates if you want to know about that.
Just, just,
Difference
just let me
between a
add.
tanker ship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Avinash,
sorry, sir.
just
You
let
were
me
saying.
add, since you are on DNS, the
Hmm.
DNS courses are actually starting every 6 months. So you have a
Yeah,
batch starting in August, and you will have a batch starting in January, February
yeah.
every year. So there are two times you can join for DNS course, but
Hmm.
the CET is conducted only once, which
Once.
means
Yeah.
CET is conducted once a year. Now the CET which you are conducting in June, if you want to apply for DNS, you can join up for the August DNS batch, or the same CET rank will be used for the February 2023 batch also.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Sure. One question which I want to pass it to Captain Hooda. Okay, there was this difference between tanker ship and cargo ship. I mean, there are different types of ships. That for that discussion, I believe in the description we have put a small merchant navy guide in PDF, just a very small crash course. You guys can follow that. But the question to Captain Hooda was regarding Maersk, because a lot of you were asking, can I join Maersk like this, like that? But the thing is, it is very clear. They have come out in open and they have said that they have tie up with Amet College. So Amet is the college which is their partner, and they are conducting the recruitment drive. So there can't be this and that. I mean, it is what the company has officially decided on. Yeah. So that is what the question was regarding LIPI test. Like, what is Maersk does a interview and also does this LIPI test. So a little bit on this LIPI test.
Okay, coming to LIPI test, it is actually logical index tests, and these are basically psychological tests, because in Maersk, as we choose, we are very choosy with the talent, and so definitely we want people which adapt to our culture, our core values, and our principles. How we want our team and our ships to run. So we need people to on the same level. So that's why these LIPI tests are done. These LIPI tests are, for example, I just give you an example. Like if somebody asks you, what do you think about yourself? How you explained yourself, and then the another question, next question will be how other people think that you are. So that answer cannot be different. Answer cannot be different. You cannot be two different personalities at the same time. So this is what is LIPI test is to check your psychological views and your senses, and that basically whole of your psychological system is ready to adapt to the Maersk culture, core values, and the these how you call it, infrastructure and full structure, that will you fit in there or not. If we are giving, for example, if somebody, let me come to a very layman thing. Like if somebody is going to buy a BMW or Audi, so I want to see that is this, if I'm giving my BMW or Audi to somebody, is this guy will be able to run this BMW or Audi or Maruti, whatever it is, or my business, my bakery business or whatever business, the way I want it to be. you know uh, the cultural principles and the core values which I have set for myself, being a world leader, and same thing which so to take that leadership, to take that onto the top, we need people with the same mindset. So that's what LIPI is, just to check your knowledge, not knowledge about your technical stuffs and all, knowledge about how, like very very basic things like 1 2 3, what is the next number. If somebody is saying, going to say next number is 5, it means something is wrong. Let's go to the next question. So let's try to see if the parameters are matching, and if the guy going to fit into this. That is
Yeah.
LIPA.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. Yes, exactly like what Captain Hooda said. This is basically to see Maersk has their own standard values, principle, and they just want to test people out. They just want to give people these psychological tests to see whether or not can you be a part of this. You can be a part of some other organization or some other, but in order to fit in this scheme of things, in order to be a part of this organization, this is the standard which they have. And obviously, I'm sure there are a lot of samples and etc. available on the internet, and we can also help you through that. That's not a problem. So LIPI is not something which you have to break your head on. It is a very normal test which all of us have to go through. Whoever wants to be a part of Maersk, it is not for only captain or for only cadet or for only this. It is a part of induction in the company, so which everybody has to go through that. There was a few female candidates also there, and I was going through Maersk campaign about females. So if you could just spend a minute on that, because somebody was asking 2 3 people, is it safe for girls in Maersk? That was the general broad question. So if you can just spend half a minute on it, because Maersk has also launched a campaign where they have said that they want to induct more and more females and perhaps want to come to 50-50 in the long run, in 5 years, 10 years down the line.
Definitely. For girls, it's very very safe. very very safe. I would say for anyone. Why I'm saying for anyone, because we focus on diversity and inclusion. We have multinational environment on board, and as I said, we feel at home. And as I said again before that. Everyone has a voice here, so definitely it is a very safe workplace for women to work with. And yes, Maersk is taking a step ahead in the long. If you look at the merchant navy, uh, the fact is that this is a man dominated or oriented field, but now things are changing. We are breaking the bias. And we are bringing the different nationalities, although Musk was already into this, but now we are going more and more into the gender equality also. So even Musk has, on the occasion of World's Maritime Women's Day, which was recently, Musk has announced that they will be, focusing more and more to hire more and more females. And I don't know what is the deadline they have set to, but they have planned it that they will come to a time where there will be 50-50,
I think
seat.
2027. I think I am not
2027.
sure.
Yes, yes. So they will try their best to bring the employees to be on the 50-50. Means if five males are there, then five females are there. So
Mhm.
yes, it's very safe for women to work at Mars.
Yeah. All right. So now we are almost coming close to an hour, and also a lot of people are asking a lot of questions. So we would wrap up this in like the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. You don't need JE for merchant navy. No, merchant navy is something else. IIT JE is something else. It is engineering, so you don't need JE. Yes, and can a lot of people are asking about basically only sponsorship, only courses we did discuss. Obviously, sponsorship is something which you have to look out on yourself. You have to find out which is the best companies, which are the best companies, top 5, top 10 companies, and then follow their hiring process, whether it is whatever exam, interview, etc. And we guys obviously are there for it. We guys do help. We guys do make videos on it and post it and give you information. So uh, can we get sponsorship after Imu Ct? Yes, sponsorship is a different thing. We have already discussed. Do Btec courses need sponsorship? No, they do not need sponsorship. Btec and BSc, as Captain Vinod was explaining very nicely, that you complete the course and then you have recruitment going on in the campus. Companies come and they conduct recruitment and they take you from there. So that is the normal procedure. What should I prepare for the CET exam? I think Captain Vinod, if you can shed a little bit light on this, what should they prepare? Is it 11th, 12th, or is it high tech, or it is too tough, too easy?
Yeah, the syllabus for a CET exam is in line with the plus two subjects, right? So if you're since you're preparing, and I believe you're going to write your board exam for plus two now, it is more or less the same preparation. So you don't need any kind of additional knowledge. It is the same preparation. There are, if you go to the Indian Maritime University's website and you click the admission tab, it will take you to sample questions of CET. So there are some samples questions which are already posted there. In general, the portions for your CET exam will be maths, physics, chemistry. So that is PCM. Then, in addition, you will be tested on English and general aptitude. So these are the five broad areas of CET exam. For general aptitude and for general knowledge, you might have to go a little extra than plus two to get a little bit of general knowledge about shipping. Very, very, very basic. But otherwise, your plus two preparation is good enough for your CET exams.
Okay, perfect, perfect. What is the age of retirement, Captain Hooda? Perhaps there is no age to retire.
There is, it depends on company to company and also nationality, their local CBA, their country CBA, they decided. So, like for example, in Maersk, with collaboration with the Indian seamanship CBA, means the agreement with the government and all these parties. So, 65 is the retirement age for Maersk.
Mhm. Okay. Now, but before we had like Danish people 70 plus still fit, still sailing, but that is now, it's for Indians, it is 65. Yeah?
Yes, for Indian seafarers, the 65. As I said, it's been decided on the with the liaison with the local governments agreements,
Okay.
seafarers agreement that what should their seafarers should be considered as the age for the retirement.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's a question, Parvarthan M. How to apply for Musk? I think in the description we have shared the link and the details and everything. So all those things, please follow. You can follow the description and the chat also. Is employment after cadetship confirmed? Yeah, a lot of people they ask this question that whether this sponsorship is there forever or whether it goes. So I don't know. Before you, do you want to take this or because ultimately see the meaning of sponsorship is same as what you call placement only. Of course 10-15 years back when Captain Hooda was there, then sponsorship actually meant paying for your hostel also, paying for your education also, paying for everything also, but now it has been reduced or say shrink to a job security. So sponsorship basically is job security only, and full complete sponsorship or scholarship was something which we had in the past, but that is no longer the case. And Captain Huda, if you want to speak something on it.
Yes, you said rightly, Avinash. Sponsorship now is coming with lots. Earlier also, it was coming with lots of terms and conditions. It's not
Yeah,
sarkari naukri.
yeah,
Let me be
yeah,
very clear. It's not sarkari naukri. Ek baar ho gaya to where you are in. No,
yeah,
it's not like that. It's just giving you a surety on if you fulfill all the terms and conditions, company
yeah,
will hire you after fulfilling all these terms and conditions.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
if you are lacking in any of the terms and conditions, if you have not in the terms of the agreement which company has made with you, like if you have failed in any exam or if you had any disciplinary actions against you while you were studying during your during this course of action, but so that will definitely terminate the contract and your sponsorship. So
yeah,
sponsorship is not, as I'm saying again, is not a guarantee that you will be placed until unless you have fulfilled
yeah,
all the terms and conditions.
yes,
And
yeah,
at that time, sponsorship is given by the company. For example, now I'm running a company. I have foreseen my requirements for the junior officers and the young talent into my organization. So I have decided that I need 100 people. I need 100 fresh cadets whom I will invest into in training and all the other programs. I will shape them to become my future captains. Okay, so now I have given this requirement or sponsorship for 100 guys. So these 100 guys I will be taking not for that moment. I'm forcing the future that I have to train these 100 guys. I have to invest my time, my money, my lot of things to shape these guys to become my tomorrow's future captains and the leaders. So this is how the sponsorship works. But it's not like if my business goes down today, God forbid, if my business goes down today due to the unforeseen events like COVID or some other virus coming in. Now we have learned a lot of lessons from the COVID. So that time, my sponsorship does not stand there,
yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
not in place to give you the sponsorship. So keep this in mind that sponsorship does not mean that it's 101% sure that you are getting in there.
yeah. True.
Okay, so that is the thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Very beautifully explained with the example because nothing is a guarantee in today's world, and you have to. I mean, if everything goes well, if you perform well, if you do well, then obviously you get to hold that position. And if you are not able to keep up either to their standards or something external factors or something else happens, then also, so it is all dynamic, it is all changing time to time, but at least as a starting point, it is a very nice opportunity, and that you are able to secure something, so that at least for now you have it. And obviously, if you work on it, and then you will maintain it for a longer period of time. So, what is the minimum percentage of 12? It is 60 and above in PCM and in English. Is Indian seamen reputed? Yes, they are very reputed. We have three of us, and Indian seamen, I think they form 25% of the whole world fleet. So our officers are obviously very reputed all over the world, and that is why we happen to work in the world's best companies, international companies, because this business is perhaps dominated. Mostly the top companies are foreign companies, whether it is European companies or wherever, and Indians are a part of that. So obviously, we are very reputed here. What about the health requirements? They are very basic. Obviously, for deck side, you have to have good eyesight. That is a must. And obviously the normal height and BMI and weight and all these things. What rank in IMU CT is good to get sponsorship in? Captain Vinod, if you can like roughly give what is a good rank in IMU CT, or what will like get you in let's say IMU Mumbai or IMU Chennai or all these top campuses?
See, if you look at the seats, it depends on the seats that is available. So let us say IMU at Chennai, which is conducting a DNS batch, has a capacity of 80, and then you have another 80 at Mumbai. So you're looking at 160 or 200 seats only at IMU campus for DNS students. So your rank has to be really in the top bracket for you to get into those 200 seats, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it becomes very difficult.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and similarly, what is the criteria of a good rank for a private institute depends upon what kind of criteria they set up. So, as I mentioned, if you have to go to a private institute to do a DNS course, the first thing they will ask you is give me your IMU CET rank certificate. So that is must. And then the criteria of a good rank and cutoff will be decided by the individual colleges.
Hmm. Okay. Correct. Thank you. So yeah, the next one is there was yeah, a lot of 12th appearing board students, they are very confused. So let's to make things very clear. I know you guys are appearing for your board exams, and you still have CBSE exams which are perhaps ongoing until for I think next week or next to next. They are ending in June. So for all those also, if you are even if you are appearing, you can appear for all the Merchant Navy sponsorship exams and IMU CT exams. If you have already registered for IMU CT this year, then you can appear. That's not a problem whether your result will be coming in 2 months or 1 month or whatever. So all the appearing students who are there in class 12, uh, they have still have an opportunity. Sir, a lot of students they ask about Mary Kolkata or DMET Kolkata and TS Chanakya. So can you just clarify that they were all formally the same institutes which have been named to IMU, or because if you tell them IMU Navi Mumbai, they don't relate to TS Chanakya or vice versa.
One sec. Yeah, see, Mary Kolkata, which is now called IMU Kolkata, is more specialized in Btec Marine Engineering course, if I say so. Right? When it comes to shipping courses, of course, all campuses also do run MBA and BBA courses for logistic industry. So if you are IMU Kolkata, which was Mary Kolkata earlier, is very famous for is a legacy institute, I should say, and it's a institute which is specialized in marine engineering, BTech Marine Engineering. Whereas when you come to TS Chanakya, it is specialized in deck courses, BSc Nautical Science and DNS course. So and that is also a legacy institute. So these two are legacy institutes which are taken over by the Indian Maritime University from 2008-9 onwards. One is more specialized in engineering and one is more specialized in nautical courses.
Yeah. So all those who are confusing between TS Chanakya and Mary Kolkata and DMET, they are the same colleges. Now they have been rebranded or renamed or are a part of IMU, and they are called IMU Navi Mumbai campus and IMU Kolkata campus. Yeah. So that is, uh, I think we are close to an hour now. Totally, how much students, sir? How many students are expected to write IMU CT? If you can.
See, the in generally anywhere between 18 to 20,000 applications we receive for CET, right? And
Okay.
I think all institutes put together, private as well as IMU, we have probably about 2,800, 2,500 to 800 seats only. So we get about 10 times the application, 18 to 20,000 application. That is where the rank becomes a little important. If you want to get into an institute of your choice and a course of your choice, because we have
Yeah.
about 20,000 people writing the CET and the seats are limited to about 2,500 to 800 seats.
Mm. Yeah. So yes, competition is there. You will have around 18 to 20,000 people fighting it out. The exam is on 11th of June. It is 3 hours, and it will be in a center near you. So I believe we are crossed. We had a concurrent audience of 200, 300, 400 all the while we were doing the session. And I know I have missed a lot of questions because there were so many coming. So obviously you can always drop us a message or you can always call us and email us. All our details are obviously there. A lot of details are there in the description of this video also. You can subscribe also. So any closing remarks from Captain Hooda or Captain Vinod? Then we can wrap it up because we have stretched it, I believe.
Yeah,
Anything?
I would just extend what Captain Huda was trying to explain through the example of Audi and BMW. See, if you are choosing, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a multinational, it's an international career. If you're going to choose merchant navy, and what he was trying to communicate, once you become an officer, you are going to be given a high value worth property in your hand, right? And the property could be worth anywhere from 300 to 500 million dollars, and you are going to be in charge of that property. So that is the kind of responsibility that you are given at a very young age, which doesn't really happen in any other career. All right, so you're given a responsibility to take up at a young age, and look at the property. What I meant by property is the value of the ship, and then look at the value of the cargo which the ship carries, which might even be 5 times than the value of the ship itself. So that's the kind of property that you're dealing with. So all the psychometric test and all the technical knowledge and competence is very important for you if you're going to work on a ship. But at the same time, let me also tell you, uh, seafarers are key workers. They have a key worker status. Now, how many careers do you have where you are coming in this bracket of key workers? So once you become a seafarer, you are a key worker. You are associated with United Nations, because the agency that the ultimate agency that we are dealing with is International Maritime Organization, which is a specialized agency of United Nations. And that is why the United Nations have a day which is marked for seafarers, which is called the International Seafarers Day, coming up next month on June 25th. So that is the kind of status that you have all across the world as a seafarer. So that's the reason I mentioned in the beginning. It's a wonderful career. If you're chosen, of course there are hardships that you need to go through in the initial stage, but once you go through that hardship, then you're going to be part of a truly international career.
Great, great. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, Captain Hooda, any closing remarks? I think you're on mute.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm on
yeah,
mute.
it's okay.
Can
Yeah, it's
yeah,
okay. It's okay now.
yeah, very rightly said by Captain Vinod, and very nicely explained, in very layman language. So that's really good. Even myself, I learned a lot from Captain Vinod today, because being at sea, all this touch from the basic requirements and the colleges, and it's all it's not there. But I really learned a lot. Thank you, Captain Vinod, for sharing all the important points and clarifying the things. And as Captain Vinod said earlier, that definitely this career is unique. Unique means it's not normal. It's definitely not normal, and it's full of challenges, hardship, and excitements. But it has a lot of good things to look at. Like, it's having a lot of opportunities to travel, good wages, and international recognition, and lot of things were like Captain Vinod said. So from my side, I will only say that best of luck, and you are on the right path. And yeah, if any doubt, anything, you can always come to 9cc, and we will try to answer as the time today was very short. So I'm really sorry that we could not address each and every one of you. But definitely later on through Avinash and the 9cc team, we will try to answer whichever we can in the best possible way. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much to both our guests. I believe it was a great session. I believe you had a good time. Yes, we could not take everything, but we would try to. And obviously, there are other mediums also. Obviously, like I said, like if you subscribe to the channel, or if you watch our videos regularly, or if you follow us, you can ask us. There are various mediums you can reach out to us. We will try to bring Captain Vinod and Captain Hooda in future on audience demand. If we'll probably run a poll, we'll see if you want to hear more from them. Definitely, it's not possible to include everything in an hour, but I think in general we tried to cover up as much as we could. So thank you so much again for coming, and yeah, see you soon. All right, bye bye.
Thank you, Captain Hooda. Nice
Bye bye.
meeting you, Captain Avinash. Our pleasure.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Same way, Captain. Bye bye. Good day.
Bye.